Okay, so making the call whether A is bigger than B or B is bigger than A. If you look at this top graph, it's very clear. B's median is larger than A's median. This graph is also clear because the lower quartile of B is above the upper quartile of A. Therefore, we can make the call B is bigger than A. This next one, because the lower quartile is above the median, we can say B is bigger than A. And it's the same here. The lower quartile is above the median of the lower quartile of B is above the median of A. We can make the call. Same here. But when they get so overlapped that it looks like this or this, we have another rule that looks like this. By the words overall visible spread, we mean the distance between the lowest lower quartile and the highest upper quartile. Okay? And we compare this distance with the distance between the two medians. Now the rule is, for a sample size of 30, if this compared to this is more than 1/3, we claim that B is bigger than A. However, if it is less than 1/3, we can't make that claim and we say it is too close to call. In this particular setup, if I was to pick up that line there and redraw it here, it would come to about this point, which you can see is about a quarter of the overall visible spread. Remember, it has to be more than 1/3. Therefore, this arrangement here is too close to call. Here's a few examples of where it's quite close to make the call, and I'll show you how I would look at them, each of them. Excuse me a moment where I find them. Here they are. Start at the top. When you look at this, this has been done for a Year 13 class, so for the moment, just ignore those red lines. Just imagine they're not there. With this one, the median is above the upper quartile. I can make the call because that males have a larger arm span than females back in the population, because the median is above the upper quartile. The median for males is above the upper quartile for females. Hence, we can make the call. This one, again, ignore the variance bars or the red bars. We would say here it is too close to call because the medians are the same. Okay? It is too close to call if males' wrist circumference are greater than females' wrist circumference back in the population. By the way, those words, back in the population, are really important because we're using the stats to make a prediction about the population. Here, this one's quite straightforward. Median is outside the lower quartile. Hence, males' bag weights are lighter than females' bag weights. Here, now we've got one of those ones we need to look at. Is the difference between the medians greater than 1/3 of the overall visible spread? Now, my eyes tell me that it is, right? If you take that point there to that point there, that distance, and in your exam you're welcome to write on your graphs and draw this in, that distance compared to the distance between that point and that point, it's roughly a half, which is more than 1/3. Hence, you can make the call that males' hair length is shorter than females' hair length back in the population. Easy, median, outside, lower quartile. Make the call. This one's going to be too close to call, based on the fact that the medians are very similar and would be less than a third. Okay, check the distance between there and there, but they're very, very close, and it's going to be too close to call. Again, too close to call, the medians are the same. Median outside the upper quartile, males have faster reaction time. Oh, what is this? Memory. Males tend to have I'm not sure of the context of this and what those symbols, what the units are, but you would want to make sure you use the units and write the conclusion in context, but whatever the context is, males are slower or faster than the females. You can make the call in this scenario. Okay, so that's making the call. Just a quick something else. In order to achieve, you need these 4 aspects in the assessment. You must have an appropriate comparison question, draw a graph that allows features of the data to be described in relation to the question, write 3 or more statements that describe comparative features of the graphs in context, and finally make an inference. That word inference means prediction about the population from the analysis that you've done.